Lady Danny here from Landed Gentris, and if you're like me, you have probably far too many herbs and essential oils floating around your house. But did you know when you spring clean, you need to also take inventory of your herbs and oils to make sure that you're getting the most potency and value from them. So let's begin. Let's begin with essential oils. Now, you'll notice I keep mine in a box. I do that for two reasons. One is it's really important to keep your essential oils away from light. The second is it's very important to keep your bottles away from change in temperature. Keeping them somewhere that you'll use them frequently, like in the bathroom cabinet, is really not a good idea. The change in temperature and humidity can help degrade the oils even faster. Essential oils do have a shelf life. Unless you're dealing with patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver, or ylang ylang, it's best to use them within 2 or 3 years. The ones that I just mentioned, those can last for a long time. In fact, there are some legends that there's some patchouli floating around in the Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco that actually smells better now than it did in the 60s. Of course, not being a big fan of patchouli, it would have to. But most essential oils you're going to want to use within 2 to 3 years, with the exception of your citrus oils. Citrus oils are high in the constituent limonene, and those tend to go off in about a year. So if you're a big fan of lemon, lime, grapefruit, and orange, please use those within a year when they are most potent. Part of my spring cleaning is actually when I receive an oil, because in order to keep tabs on your stock, you really need to know when you purchased it so you can tell whether it's about to go off or not. One of the easiest ways I've found is as soon as I purchase an oil, I put on 2 little tags on the label. The first one is for the date that I purchased, and the second one is the length of time for which it's good. Now, it doesn't mean that once that deadline is hit that I need to throw it away. Sometimes they're still fine to use in your diffuser or to use in products for cleaning. It's just that when they start to reach their sell-by date, they tend to be less potent, and if they oxidize, can cause skin irritation. So you don't want to use them on your skin at that point. One of the problems when people come into hospitals or have reactions to essential oils, the #1 reason is they're using an old or oxidized oil. So if you have a friend that says, "Oh, I've had this for a long time, you can use it," don't believe it, because you may end up doing yourself some harm, and then you want to blame the essential oil when you really should blame the fact that it's past its sell-by date. So let's talk about carrier oils. Carrier oils, unlike essential oils, are not steam distilled or CO2 extracted. They're generally cold pressed, and they have a shorter shelf life. Generally speaking, 1 to 2 years. The exceptions to these would be fractionated coconut oil and Ilex Opa, which is holly oil. Both of them have an almost indefinite shelf life. So remember, when you're buying, please buy a size that you're going to use in the correct amount of time, and if your bottle doesn't already have a date, please put one on so you'll know when it's best to use by. Please buy only the size that you need. I purchased this large amount of rice bran oil because I use it in a number of products, including soap making. But if you're buying a large size just because it's on sale, you may not use it all before the expiry date comes up, and then you'll have to pour it away. Please don't pour it down the sink. It's really best to get rid of old oils by either taking them to an oil recycling center or using them for something else that does not involve skincare. For example, if you're trying to keep your gardening tools free of rust, then you might want to put a thin layer of the oil on them and then store them in sand so they don't rust when you're not using. But definitely you don't want to use it on your skin because oxidized oils can cause lots of reactions. It's just not. Also notice that carrier oils don't always come in tinted bottles, and they don't have to, but you should still take care of where you store them. Please keep them away from the same conditions that would spoil your essential oils, e.g. keep them away from direct sunlight, keep them somewhere where temperature doesn't fluctuate too much, and make sure that you use them within the allotted expiry time so you're not throwing money away. Let's talk about herbs. When you're dealing with flowers or leaves, we're talking approximately 1 to 2 years for their best potency. This also applies to whole spices. Basically, you'll want to keep them in airtight packages, whether that's Ziploc bags or containers that have air-fitted tops. And you want to keep them out of direct sunlight so that they remain as potent as possible for as long as possible. Seeds and whole roots can keep up to 2 to 3 years. Again, you want to keep them in sealed bags away from direct light. 2 to 3 years is also a good expiration time for things like barks, as well as whole roots of ginger or galangal. When you're talking ground spices, whether that's cinnamon or ginger root, or even lemon peel, we're probably talking 6 months to a year. And you'll be able to taste the difference right away. I don't know if you've ever used any kind of herb that's gone past its sell-by date. I recently did with Herbes de Provence. It just doesn't have the potency and the kick. It's kind of a waste to even use them. Not to say that you can't use them, but it's just not going to give you the same flavor or the same potency, which is very important if you're using your herbs to make herbal medicine. That's it, love bugs. By remembering to do a spring clean of your essential oils, your carrier oils, and your herbs, it assures that you're not using oxidized essential oils, rancid carrier oils, or impotent herbs, which is very important when you're taking your time to create products. So I hope that this will help. And if you'd like more information, I do have a PDF download of the expiration dates for essential oils, herbs, and carrier oils available on landedgentress.com, or you can visit me at my Etsy site or at this bit.ly link right here. Thanks for spending time with me. Have a great day.